I'm not going to go over all 20-ish questions, but I'm just going to pick ones that I think it's important to go over. So this one, given the graph, you need to come up with the equation. So first off, you need to choose the y-intercept. Where does it start? So that y-intercept, that starting point, that's your b. So that's 19,000. And then you want to find your slope. To find slope, you choose any 2 points on this graph. So since I know this point already, it's good to choose this one. Another one that's nice and easy to see, I would say like maybe this one right here. Okay. It doesn't matter which one you choose, but I chose this one right here because it looks like it's about 14,000. So from 19,000 to 14,000, what was the drop in price? 5,000. Okay, it dropped at 5,000. And over how many years? Over 4 years. So when you divide it, you get negative 1,250. If you did another point and you got something a little different, it's okay because we're just basing the equation on a line that we're given. So we never got exact values. So if you're a little off, it's okay. So my equation, y equals negative 1250x plus 19,000. Okay. Yeah, so I'm getting there. Okay. And now what does this 19,000 represent? Yep.
How much the car is worth when it
First,
manufactured?
not manufactured, but original value. So when you first bought it, basically. So when you bought it, it was that. So original value or price you paid at beginning. Cindy, it's very loud. Okay, and then right here, what does this negative 1250 mean? Yeah.
The price is going down
Per year. Excellent. So the drop in price per year. So you have to write that per year part, otherwise it's not a rate of change. Remember, this is your rate of change, so this is the drop in price each year. Okay. If you just say drop in price, that's not a rate, right? Okay. Determine the rate of change in linear relation in the table. So again, what's another word for rate of change? Yeah. Slope. Yeah, that's it. Right. So basically, you're given a table and you're trying to find a slope. There's 2 different ways you can write this. One, you can rewrite the whole table and put them in order. All right, so 2, negative 10, 3, negative 16, 6, negative 34, 8, negative 46, and 11, negative 64. Okay. Looking at these, I can see that this one right here, when I do the first difference, negative 16 minus negative 10, that's negative 6. And then 3 minus 1 is the 1. So then my slope is my first difference, negative 6 over 1, which is the same as negative 6. Okay. Why I don't do first difference for all of them is because my x was not in order. It was only this one that was in order. So that's why I did that. Another option you could have done is how many points are in this table? How many points did I give you in this table? Right. Yeah. 5. Yeah. So each one of these are just coordinates of points. So if I were to graph this, these were 5 points. Just like right here, I gave you 5 points. But to find a slope, all I need is 2 points. So I could have just said, okay, given this point and given this point, using the slope formula, find the slope. All right, and if you do that, you'll also get -6. Okay, so 2 different ways you could have done it. Okay, this one, what is the slope of the ramp? Remember, slope is just rise over run. So in this case, your rise is 3, your run is 36, and so 1 over 12. That's it. Okay. Graphing using x and y intercept. To find x-intercept, you let y equal 0. To find y-intercept, you let x equal 0. Number 5, is it continuous or concrete? Continuous or discrete? Okay. Who says continuous? Who says discrete? Discrete it is. Why? Yeah. Yeah, you can't have a quarter of a quarter, or you can't have half a dime, and so cannot have decimal value. All right. So you either have 1 dime, 2 dime, 3 dime, 4 dimes. You can't have 1.5 of a dime. That's not a nickel. All right. Is the relation linear or nonlinear? So looking at this table, is my x value going up constantly? Yes. So that means I can simply just do first difference. 4 minus 0, 4. 0 minus 4, -4. 4 minus 16, -12. Okay, so since first difference is different, it means that this is nonlinear. Nonlinear. Okay. So this one tells you that it is a linear relation. Determine the missing value. So since it's linear, 6, 4, 2, we can have 0. First difference means that since it's linear, that means first difference is the same. 4.5 minus 2, that means each step it's going to go down by 2.5. So if you go down 2.5, if this is also 2.5, this would bring it down to -0.5. Okay, be very careful with the subtraction. And then here, that means you add another 2.5 to it, so this would be 7. That's right. Okay. So let's say I want to write the equation y equals mx plus b given this table. What's my m? Yeah. Ooh, good job. Okay, so I was gonna see who I trick. Y equals m. M is not simply 2.5. Why is that? Because right here, you didn't go up by ones. You went up by twos. So your slope is actually 2.5 divided by 2, which is 1.25. Okay, so 1.25x. And what's my b? Yeah, right here. When x is 0, your y value, -0.5. Okay. Okay, so that's part of, given a table of value, can you come up with the equation? Okay, so this one is tricky because I know some of you were thinking y equals 2.5. Okay, but but you have to remember what your x was going up by. Difference in y over difference in x. Okay. Moving along. Okay, so this one is simply nonlinear because there's an exponent is a degree 2. Okay, all linear relations has only degree 1. Okay. Okay, this one. Number 12. Josh works for a lawn care company. He makes $15 per day and $5 per lawn he mows. How many lawns must he mow to earn $100 for the day? So write the equation first. Y equals mx plus b. What's his m? $5 per lawn. Yes, I know this is a little tricky in the wording because this is per and this is per as well. But you want to find out how many lawns. So how many lawns? That means we're focusing on this part. So y equal 5x and his flat rate is the 15. Good. So if I want to find out how much how many lawns I need to mow to earn that 100, that 100 is going to go in for y. Okay, move it over so that you get 85 equals 5x divided, that means 17. 17 what? Lawns. Yeah, so therefore he needs to mow 17 lawns to make $100 for the day. Is that a lot of lawns? Would you do it? I think by the end of the day, Joshua will be shaking. Yes, so that's a lot of lawns for just $100. If you guys want like a summer job or something like that, usually people charge much more. So, FYI. So don't charge $5 per lawn. Solve this. Okay, so let's solve this. This is 8 minus g over 2 equals 21. It looks a little ugly. The font is a little ugly. Whenever I have a denominator, I just want to get rid of it as my first step. So what should I do to get rid of that denominator? Multiply everything by 2. Yeah. So multiply everything by 2. So you get 16 minus g equal 42. Okay, looks a lot nicer already. Now move that 16 over. So negative g equals 42 minus 16. What's that? Too early to do math. 26? 26? Okay. And then because it's negative g, that means when I divide everything by negative 1, g is negative 26. Okay, 14. You have the 3 on the outside of the bracket, so I need to distribute. So I'll do it over here. So that is 6x plus 15 equals 3x plus 27. Okay. Collect the like terms. So the 3x can go on the left side with the other's x, and the 15 can go down the other side where the other number is. So 6x minus 3x gives you 3x. 27 minus 17 gives you 12. Lastly, when you divide 12 divided by 3, you get 4. Okay. Use the graph to find the point of intersection of these two lines. So let me just quickly go over that. Because you guys need to know how to graph. Okay, so I know in the last assignment you guys were able to use decimal to help you graph. Well, remember on the test, you can't use decimal, so you need to know how to graph by hand. So y equals 4x plus 3. What's my m? What's my b? Michaela?
M is 4x.
4. 4.
4.
Yes.
Then B is 3.
Good. Okay. Graph the y-intercept first, which is at 3. Nice and big. And then from that point, I'm going to go up 4. Take the elevator, go up 4 floors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once I get out of the elevator, it's the first door to the right. Okay, so there's one line. Okay. And then the second line was y equals 3x plus 2. So Michaela, what's my m?
3.
Yes, good job. And 2. Okay, so y-intercept is 2. I plot this 1 point. From my y-intercept, I'm going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3, and then over 2. 1, 2. Right? Went up the elevator 3 floors. Oh, sorry. 1. That's not it. Yeah, I went up the elevator 3 floors and then over 1. Similarly, I could, because I know the direction of my line, I could go down 3 and over 1, down 3 and over 1, just so that I get a few more points. Okay. And where did they cross? -1, -1. Remember, it's an intersection point, and so your final answer should be in the form of a point. -1, -1. Okay. In grade 10, you guys would solve this using mathematical process. Okay, it's doing math. Grade 9, you solve it by graphing only. Okay. Chapter 1 of grade 10 is basically this. Okay. Determine the slope and y-intercept of the line. So rearranging it into y equals mx plus b form. So 8y equals, I'm going to move the -7x over, so it becomes 7x. Move that -16 over, becomes plus 16. Divide everything by 8. So 7 over 8x plus 16 divided by 8, which is 2. All right, so that's from standard form to y-intercept form. Okay. Okay, so let's do this word problem. Carl is constructing a shelf using board and sheets of plywood. He has $100 to spend. The sheet of plywood costs $10 each. So plywood, $10 each, 10p. Okay, and boards cost $7.50 each. So $7.50 per board. Okay, and total that I have to spend, 100. And there you go. Write the equation that represents the cost where the variable for plywood is isolated. Oh, so then they want you to rearrange the equation so that it's p equal, basically. All right, so that's the question. Collinear, it's collinear if the slope between these 2 points is the same as the slope of these 2 points. So you're just doing the slope formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, do it for these 2 points, do it for these 2 points. That's it. Determine the equation of the point going through that. So we did quite a few of these. Substitute it in here, use one of the points, find b, and then write your equation. Do you guys need me to go over 20? Do you want me to go over 20? Up to you guys. I'm doing this for you guys. Yes? Okay. So m equals, so call this x1, y1, x2, y2. So 6 minus -6. And then 1 minus -5. Okay, so you get 12 over 6, which gives you 2. So m equals 2. Okay, so in y equals mx plus b now, I'm going to use one of these points. Which one looks like a nicer point to use? The positive one. Yes, I like positive numbers more. So this is your x, this is your y, this is your m. So 6 equals 2, and this is 1. And you're trying to solve for b. So 6 equals 2 plus b. When you move it over, 6 minus 2, you get 4. So what's my equation then? Y equals 2x plus 4. That's it. Okay. Okay, moving right along. Find the equation of the slides. So what's the most important point to find out on this line? Y-intercept. Right here. So what is B? Yeah. Okay, if you can even write that on the test, you'll get a mark already, even if you can't come up with the equation. So the fact that you were able to point out that y-intercept is -3, you deserve a mark. Okay, I need to find another point. I didn't give you another point, so what do? I don't see any other point on the line, so what should I do? Choose any. All right, choose any that looks nice and neat right at the corner of the grid. So, for example, this is not as good of a point to choose. I would say I would choose this one right here. Okay, because that one is nice and easy to read off the graph. This to me looks like it's -5 and 3. Okay, so going from the left point to the right point, I need to take my elevator. So Petro is visiting Dikshan they live in the same building. So Petro goes in the elevator, and what is he gonna do? Petro, what are you gonna do? Go down 6 floors. So -6. Once you get out of the elevator, where does Dikshan live? 5 doors to the right. That's right. Okay, and so your equation, y equals -6/5 minus 3. What am I missing in this equation? Which a lot of you guys like to write it like this. X. Yes. Don't forget that x is not an equation without that x and a y. Okay. I've seen so many of you just write me that -6/5 minus 3. And you get a number. Okay. These ones, perpendicular to the x-axis. So whenever you see perpendicular to the x-axis, it means you want to do a quick little sketch. Perpendicular to the x-axis means you're looking for a vertical line. A vertical line a line that goes through -5, -9. -5, -9. So like right here, let's just say. Okay, and that x value is -5. So no matter where that point is on this vertical line, your x value is always -5. Okay. This one, rearrange the equation. So -2y equals -8x plus 10. So y equal, when you move that over, -8 divided by -2 is 4. And then 10 divided by -2, you get -5. So your slope for this line is 4. But I want the perpendicular slope. So what is the perpendicular slope? -1/4. Remember, negative reciprocal. Not just reciprocal, not just negative, but both negative reciprocal. Okay, and then reading off graphs. EQAO likes to ask these kind of questions, like how you can read off graphs. What day will the temperature be 16 degrees? So if you keep extending your line, you need to figure out where it gets to. So looking at this rate, it looks like, for example, like when it's 10, it looks like it's when it's 10 degrees, it's 8 days. 8 degrees, it's 6 days. So if you double that, so 8 degrees, day 6. So when you double that, 16 degrees would be around day 12. Is it? Okay. So you have to extend your line and then do extrapolation. So I think it's around day 14? Okay, so day 14. Yeah, so 12, if I extend it, 12, 14, 16, so day 16. So day 6, so 16 degrees would be around like right here. And then when you come down, yeah, it looks like it's 12, 14. So day 14. Using extrapolation. Remember this word, extrapolation? Yeah. 25, which one do they have the closest ranking? So just to show, there's actually I think 2 answers for this one. So for example, this point right here, it means that Jeff gave that game a rating of 2, whereas Dijung gave a rating of 10 for that game. This one right here, it will mean that Jeff gave it a rating of 5, and Dijung gave it a rating of 4. Okay. Similarly, this point means that Jeff gave it a 9 point. He only gave it a 3 point. Okay. So for this one, I think the closest was this point right here. Yeah.
There's also the 8 and 7.
8 and 7 as well? Yes. So he gave it an 8.
One above.
This one? Oh, yes. Yeah, and this one. So these two. He gave it an 8. He gave it a 7. Still also just one by one off. Yeah, so both of these are correct. Okay, please skip to a few. Motion graphs. I want to go over motion graphs. Okay, so David bicycle 100 kilometers each weekend. That is a lot. The graph shows his distance from the parking lot as he bikes his route. Okay, so this is from the parking lot. From parking lot. So this is parking lot down here. So this parking lot. Okay, what happened at point B? What happened here? It's a horizontal line. Every horizontal line is a break, or he stopped. Good. He stopped. He got tired. Okay. How long is his whole ride? How long did his whole ride take? 5 hours, right? So you can see that it ended in 5 hours. How long does David spend altogether taking breaks during his ride? So again, remember, all horizontal line means it's a break, it's a break, it's a break. So he took 3. This one, how long does it look like it took him? How long was this break?
Third of an hour.
Sorry?
It looks like a third.
A third of an hour? Yeah, okay, sure. So it looks like a third of an hour. So at C, there was 20 minutes. Okay, what about at D? Looks like it's about half an hour. So 30 minutes. Half of a box. And then what about F? How long does it look like? Sorry? 20 minutes, a third of an hour again. So altogether, 30 plus 20 plus 20, 70 minutes. So you took a break for about 70 minutes. Between which 2 points was David bicycling the fastest? Okay, so if I need to just eyeball it, what am I looking for? For the steepest. Perfect. Remember, fastest means steepest. So just looking at these, which line looks like is the steepest line? G and H. Okay, so to me, I'm looking either G and H or A and B. These both lines look quite steep, but notice here, G and H, if they were the same steepness, but if you take a look, they only covered 20. So for these here, because it's a little iffy, I'm not sure which one is more steep, then I can do the slope for AB. So if I do the slope of AB, rise is 30, run is 1, so that means he went 30 kilometers per hour for AB. Slope of GH, whoops, that's a G, GH. Slope, the rise is 20. The run, looks like it only took about 20 minutes. We'll say 20 minutes, but we're not going to put in 20 in here because we were doing hours. So what's 20 minutes in terms of hours? 0.3, right? So a third of an hour, so 0.3333. So 20 divided by 0.333, it's actually like 60 kilometers per hour. So it's actually a lot faster. So yep, which between G and H, he was going the fastest. Okay. What speed does David start out riding? Oh, so we actually did that. So it's 30 kilometers per hour. Don't forget to include units. Whenever you do rate of change. So the difference I would say between slope and rate of change is slope just measures the steepness. Rate of change has units. Okay, last question. Ryan charges $10 minimum charge and then $5 per window he cleans. Write the equation. Y equal. Perfect. And I like that you didn't just use X and Y. So 5W equals Y equals 5W plus 10. How will the graph change if he increase his minimum charge? So which one am I increasing, the 5 or the 10? The 10. Minimum charge means that I'm going to increase this. So Y equals, how much do you want to charge? $70? Okay. $70 minimum. You know, you're not going to get much business. But then nobody can clean those windows high up. Only you can. So how will the graph change if he keeps the $10 minimum but charge more per window? Okay, so now we're saying, okay, let's keep that $10 because I realize I'm not getting any business, but I still want to make more money. So I'm going to increase this now. So an example, Y equal 10. Yeah, so I'm going to charge $10 per window and keep my winders up. Okay, how will the graph change if he increases the minimum charge but lowers the cost of windows? So now I want to increase this but lower this. I'm still not getting that perfect income. If he wants to, the opposite way. Yeah, so now he's saying that he wants to decrease the price per window, but increase the minimum charge. So y equal, let's say 4w plus 12. Right? And how will the graph change if there's a maximum cost? Okay, so because it's a big building like a school, they're not going to charge $4 per window for every single window. They're just probably at the end going to say, after a certain amount, that's the max. Right? So let's say your original graph looks something like this. Okay. So like let's say for example, at $500, that's the maximum that they can charge you. How would my graph look like beyond that? Yeah, horizontal line. So horizontal line doesn't only mean stop. Well, actually, it does stop. It stops growing. So at 500, even if I wash 1,000 window, I can only charge 500. Okay. So your graph looks like this. Right? Okay, so that was the first package. How many of you got majority of these questions correct? Okay, good. Good job. So I'm going to give you guys a second package now. You guys have the rest of the class to work on it. There is a lot of questions. So try to do as much as you can over the weekend. And then on Monday, we'll do something like this as well. We'll take up the rest of the questions. And then hopefully by Monday, you guys feel confident for your test. That's on Tuesday. Okay?